episode 139, Red Leaf or Retrocast. It's the World Cup, so obviously we're going to talk football for the next 30 minutes. But we do have
That's right, World Cup cast.
World Cup cast, but we do have a guest. Yata, you're back. It's only been, what, 2 years? 3 years?
Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 7. Whatever the Mononoke episode was. Not the last Mononoke episode, the Princess Mononoke episode. That was, I believe, the last time. So I thought, it was time. A few years. Get the bad taste I left in everyone's mouth out of the way. It's a distant memory, and do something new, I guess.
Let's see. February 2020 was when you were back. Oh my God, February 15th. Was the world shut down yet, or was that the week before?
Oh shit! It would have been wasn't it March, and when the Rudy Gobert, the NBA player, tested positive for COVID, and it all just fucking fell apart.
Yes, I think that was beginning of March. Yeah, so
yeah, some shit, dude. Maybe we caused it. Who knew?
we went to our own realm of purgatory of podcasting.
Hold on, JD.
What's up?
My microphone is not recording my audio for some reason.
It's okay, Hickey. I got you.
Connected and okay.
I got you, Hickey.
Weird.
Don't you worry about a thing. I know you're just worried about Brazil going to lose to Japan in the World Cup, but it's fine.
See, I thought that's why I told you. That's why JD's always recording everyone. It's just weird. Huh.
You're coming in pretty clear, though. I gotta say so.
No, yeah, it's just Audacity is not.
Audacity.
Something's probably funky in the settings. I don't know. Or your computer's
I would say if in doubt, close it and reopen it.
That's
You'd
right.
be amazed how often that works.
Yeah. Podcast been around for almost 6 years, and we're still using just basic Audacity for recording a lot of things.
Go.
Dude,
Yeah, Tori, you didn't tell them about Zencaster?
No, I didn't, to be honest. Like I said, I've been fucking busy thinking about other shit. I haven't thought about anything. I still remember, I was like, we were approaching this cast, and I'm just like, yeah, I should probably actually fucking check in with Yata just to make sure that, he hasn't forgotten, or that that is fucking.
And guess what? I had completely forgotten. It was like,
I mean, I don't blame you. Like, how fucking far in advance did we plan this? Like 3 months.
I was like, yeah, I remember like, oh yeah, December. That's years away. But then, like, oh shit, it's December.
Ah shit, dude, it's the start of December. It's now.
Sleigh bells are ringing and it's here. Shit. Anyway, I'm here. Anyway, we got it together. We're all here. We're all in one piece. 3 of the 4 of us have microphones that work. It's pretty good.
Hell yeah! Nah, we are all professionals here. Like, trust me. Like I was talking about as well. Like, look how good we are. I mean, when we started recording this podcast, we were taking notes. We had like fucking show notes. We were planning stuff out. Now we show up, we hit record, we talk bullshit, we end the recording, we send it to JD, and we go about our day.
Well,
that is big.
There is an anime that we're reviewing there at some point. Come on.
aside,
Sometimes, kind of.
Aside the recording not working for me right now, at least I'm not inside of a car. That's a plus.
See, way big improvements.
That has improved. Yeah. I mean, although it did sort of take away some of the excitement. I still do miss those days of like checking up on Hickey after at the end, just being like, you're still conscious, right? You're still here. Yeah, I've been talking for the last like 2 minutes here. You're fine.
You choke yourself out in the fumes.
Not the fumes.
It's like a dog you left in the car. Don't worry, I cracked the window open halfway.
I mean, yeah, better.
There's a homeless man standing outside the window. He looks like he wants to come in to be warm.
Oh, he'll be warm, all right.
I'm recording a podcast.
It'll be really warm.
Recording an anime podcast about to talk about Japan beating everybody in the World Cup. Come on. Shinihon.
Yes. That's why we're talking about Captain Tsubasa today.
What?
Wait, we are?
Whoa, hold on. I thought we were just going to talk more about Blue Lock and how much it works.
Hell yeah, dude.
Well, the evidence is undeniable, right? It's clearly working.
Yeah, he came out. Now Japan is doing well.
See that one striker? He claimed he watched the manager. The manager is showing everyone One Piece films of inspiration, and then just one guy's eyes glow blue one game, and my God, it's history making. Nobody saw it coming.
Yes, amazing stuff. Honestly,
Yeah.
Japan really does have the power of God and anime on their side, which is why I'm saying it now. They're winning the World Cup.
No, they're going to lose to South Korea. I have it on great authority that they are probably listening to Blackpink before every game.
I don't even think that is that weird, but sure, yeah, okay.
They probably are.
They are Korean.
Well, is it true
that is true? That is true. They definitely are Korean.
In case you hadn't figured that out, I know it's a little bit hard to understand because you look at some of the countries and you look at the players and they're like, are you sure you're from Qatar?
Yeah, Qatar. You got there before me. I was going to say, wow, I didn't know Fernandez was a Qatari name.
I mean, put yourself in my shoes. Every single game I watch, there's Brazilian playing for everyone. I was like, who's that guy? I know that guy.
Went to school with that guy
from the national championship. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm watching.
What do you mean he's Moroccan now? What the fuck does
What do you mean he's Moroccan? That explains so much.
Am I Moroccan now?
What the Brazilian dude is German? What?
I mean,
the upside is that you almost guarantee to sort of have some sort of success at the World Cup, though, right? Because some Brazilian's going to win the World Cup. He just might not be where he might just not be playing for Brazil.
Yeah, he is at least lucky. Unlike me, here I am. I'm from Norway. We don't qualify.
Well,
I'm partly Italian, and guess who didn't qualify?
Sorry, I'm all Irish. I'm all Irish, and we haven't qualified since 2002. So,
yeah, I mean that sounds about right. That sounds about where we what was it? Like we said, we were in the '98 World Cup.
We were in the same
Don't
group.
think that was the last time. I think. Yeah,
No,
I think we were also in like the early 2000s. Yeah, sounds about right. And then that generation of footballers retired, and I mean we finally have some hope because now Holland exists, and goddamn. But
all you need to do is clone him 10 more times, and you'll be 2026.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know if I'd like that, but you know what? Sure. Give me like 3 of him and a couple of other guards, and yeah, sure.
No, it's all right though. When the ski jumping World Cup comes around, you'll be fucking laughing.
Oh, absolutely. It's not even a competition. Oh, ski jumping, it can be a little tricky, but yeah, ski sports in general, it's pretty. It's basically a competition of see who is the best Norwegian, which means you're probably the best. I'm not even joking.
The occasional Austrian has something to say about that.
Dude, I'm not even joking. Like we just had like a fucking there was like one like world sprint race or whatever the fuck it is. I didn't watch it, but it's like 9 of the top 10 that finished the race was Norwegian.
Yeah, and who was 10th? Probably an Austrian.
Probably, but it's kind of stupid. It's just like 9 out of 10 are from
Swedish
Norway.
guy that was born like 1 kilometer from the Norwegian border.
Just adapt that to anime. Make a blue lock with all of cross country skiing. Anything fail, they just let you to die.
You know what? That is a great concept.
It has to be a cute girl doing cute things anime, right? Cross country skiing.
Yes.
It must exist.
I'm sure it does.
Yes.
I prefer the blue lock strategy of just every sports imaginable just becomes a blue lock show.
Synchronized swimming, but as an individual.
Synchronized skim. Yeah, no, that's. Listen, you will do everything perfectly in time without ever talking to your partner or communicating everything. You should just know, or else you might not ever return from this pool.
Oh, God.
They get chained to the bottom.
Oh, no.
Goddamn.
You will make it out once you complete the fucking routine.
There's like weights that activate. If they fail, it just sinks them. Like, shit. This is much harsher anime. A lot of death we're talking about right now. Wonder why.
Well, it might be on theme, you know?
Sports without death. Yeah. Maybe it is. What are we talking about today, JD?
So there's an anime called Haibane Renmei that a couple people like, I hear. That's what we're doing. Yeah. Not Captain Tsubasa, to my absolute shock.
He doesn't like it. He doesn't like Haibane Renmei.
God damn it! I watched it wrong again. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
I just watched the World Cup now.
What do you
I mean,
mean
like-
you're not talking about Road to 2002. That was the plan.
Road to 2000. Okay. Out of all the Captain Tsubasa, you're just like, I thought we were watching Road to 2002. What the hell?
It's the World Cup. Ah, JD, you uncultured swine. Don't talk to me.
I do like you calling it. Yeah, the pig insult is good. It's very German of you.
No problem.
By the way, I was in a
Got your
bar
back.
watching that Costa Rica German game, and everyone is just going Musiala. Ah, yes, a very Aryan name. It's like, what the fuck, Americans? Am I right, guys?
Yeah, those Americans.
Yeah,
Pesky.
Interesting.
it's always the reference. It's like, don't worry, Germany's not winning.
No.
Japan,
Uh-oh.
fucking Japan. It just had to be
Yeah.
Spain.
But Spain is such a bad team. Holy shit.
They're good. They were good against Costa Rica.
Just- Midfielders everywhere.
Okay. All right.
I mean, yeah, but Costa Rica was kind of, I don't know, kind of scared. And then they decided, we should play football. I think we came all the way here to play some football, so might as well.
Do you think there was
They
some
play against
remnants of the
Japan.
Spanish Inquisition that they were dealing with?
Nah,
Nah.
they just suck.
They just suck. Oh, God. Harsh. Okay. Yata, you're here for the show Haibane Renmei. Why?
JD.
What's
He's out.
not here.
You
He's
need to
not
drag
here.
him
What
back in.
happened?
He's out.
Yata, what
You
the
are not
hell?
looking at
I asked you a
Discord.
question. You were gone. Did you go into purgatory?
You can tell it's been. I'm not gonna lie. The last time I did a Discord call was probably back when we did the Mononoke episode, and I was just sitting around. And I just closed Discord for some reason. I can't even blame a technical issue. I literally hit X.
Oh, shit.
I don't know why.
What kind of brain fart is it? It's like, oh yeah, let me just mess around with Discord setups. What does this X does? What the fuck, dude?
What does this big red do not touch button do? I wonder. Well, got
Well, if it says
ejected
do
in-
not touch,
single-
it has to be
Every
touched.
single thing on my PC has one, so might serve some purpose.
I didn't even. It wasn't even that conscious. I was literally just close that tab. Oh shit! There goes Discord.
What is this Discord? I don't need that.
I blame
Phenomenal.
Haibane Renmei. It's that fault.
You had to
Pulling up
realize
the
what
Mal
purgatory
page.
was really like. That was the goal, right?
Yeah. Turns out it's
Oh, yeah.
general voice chat.
Okay. So why are
damn.
you here for this particular anime? What's up?
So I actually have no recollection of why I'm here for this particular anime. I remember talking to Tori about
Great.
Haibane Renmei, and I swear to God, it's been a long time. I think I told Tori that he should do a video on Haibane Renmei. And does that sound
did you?
right? I don't know. Dude.
I
literally
don't
forgot.
remember if you did tell me to make a video. I do remember we were talking because we've been talking a lot about getting something done together. Like we've been talking about making a video or something. And then he approached me with he was doing a project for with KONE stuff, and he asked if I wanted to join him for talking about Munto. And of course I was like, hell yeah, dude! I've always waited for
To watch
someone to come and
Munto.
ask me to watch Munto. That's my big dream.
Ever since I was a little boy, I've always dreamed about talking about Munto.
So of course I said yes. That was very fun, by the way. But
So do the plugs
So,
for it.
like-
More plugs. Plug away.
go on, Yata.
Yeah, that podcast is called it's the Endless 8 Kyoto Animation Podcast, but it's on the My Anime Podcast RSS feed or on Clear and Sweet YouTube. So if you type in Clear and Sweet, it's on that Clear and Sweet YouTube channel. And yeah, Tori did a great job. It was a lot
Thank
of fun. Munto is a confusing mess, but the podcast was fucking great. Tori brought it like he always does. And together, between three of us, six hands and 3 raids, we kind of figured out that we didn't understand what Munta was about.
Yeah, that's the way.
This is kind of apropos because, there's a lot of things that you could kind of misinterpret about Haibane Renmei as well. There's a lot of me going, well, is that a metaphor for unbaptized children? Is that what we're doing here?
Haibane Renmei, so a lot of questions and not a lot of answers. But yeah, no, I don't know. Like we were talking about that, and then sort of Haibane Renmei and Ghost Town got brought up.
Yes,
and I think I asked you then if you wanted to join the podcast or as a guest again, and then it's like, yeah, sure, if you're doing a Haibane Renmei or Ghost Town episode, then sure.
That's
we figured it out.
I'll reveal my cards right now. I'm actually a big fan of Haibane Renmei. I think it's up there. It's one of my favorite anime. And I know it's retro, especially by anime standards. It's over 10 years old, so it's super retro.
Oh, we go by 15 here.
I've heard. Okay. That's pretty exciting, though. I saw you got Mononoke. I listened to your Mononoke episode, and I was like, that's 15 years? Shit, yeah. I remember that one.
Haibane Renmei is 20. What are you on about?
Yeah. It's old enough to drink in a lot of places.
Well, yeah.
It actually... it actually... It's 20 years old today.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It is. It's pretty extreme. But yeah, no, and what am I talking about? Yeah, no, I'm a big. I enjoy So Haibane Renmei is like a Yoshitoshi Abe show, right?
Yes, he wrote it,
and I do like his stuff. I know JD is not the biggest fan of him, like Serial Experiments Lane. We also did Nia Under 7 on the podcast.
Oh
and
my
stuff
god,
like that.
it's all by him. Fuck.
Welcome to. Yeah.
No.
Welcome to the NHK.
No. He did the character design, but
he does character design.
Chiaki is the guy who wrote.
Okay, yeah.
Serial Experiments Lane and Texanalize. He's just the character designer.
So when are we doing Texanalize so I can shit on all his works?
I mean, if you want to, both of them are actually working in an anime right now called Despera, which I'm quite excited to see.
Despera? Like despair?
Despera. Yes.
Oh, it's my favorite English word.
I constantly feel it every day.
Every day. I felt it just before this podcast, watching America just, let the whole country down.
They did well. Come on.
No.
Last 16. It's 4 years from now. 4 years from now. It's all about 4 years from now. Totally fine.
It's always 4 years from now. Look, hey, next time we'll start raining. No problem. Next time. Don't you worry. Despera story centers around Ein, a 14-year-old girl who builds devices despite the lack of scientific that sounds like a bad concept. Okay.
Nah, it's Taisho Japan. Taisho Japan is great. Except, the war crimes and the slavery of Koreans. But aside that, Taisho Japan is quite great scenario.
I definitely denounce slavery as, it's generally a bad thing, right?
Damn, dude. What a controversial statement.
Weird. Well,
can you say officially get the press release ready? The Red Leaf Retro Game Podcast is against slavery. Is that what we're saying here?
That is what
the
I'm
official
saying.
statement.
That's the official statement.
Right.
Some might be against that.
People come here for.
My thoughts and opinions are not do not represent.
Kanye West might have something to say about these statements, but
does not. My thoughts and opinions does not represent Red Leaf Retrocast or the official.
Terrible.
It's my own thoughts only.
Boy. Okay.
Right.
So do we have any further World Cup thoughts, or shall we dive into this Haibane Renmei show?
World Cup thoughts?
Yeah.
It's been an interesting World Cup. A lot of teams just gave up.
Sucks.
Everyone fucking sucks.
Everyone's terrible. Brazil loses to Cameroon. Morocco is apparently a football powerhouse.
I was going to say, Morocco kind of low-key good. Maybe they don't suck as much as everybody else.
Now watch them lose the next game like 4-0.
Yeah, no.
Croatia kind of tight.
Good.
Didn't Croatia lose to... Who did Croatia lose to? Or did they only tie? I don't remember.
I think they beat
Not
Canada,
really.
and they
Look, everybody beat
Oh,
Canada. It was quite the desperation of sadness that I went through. I was like, look, Canada, all right.
Even Belgium beat Canada, and fucking Belgium sucks. They got completely outplayed by Canada and still won 1-0.
I did like a quadruple bypass parlay with Belgium getting knocked out, Morocco winning the group, Japan knocking out Germany. I mean, I'm rolling in the dough, man. I totally saw this coming. True,
Oh, yeah.
true.
Of course.
What, you didn't have
who are you guys rooting for now? Are you officially rooting for Japan?
Japan, South
I'm
Korea,
rooting for
and
Brazil,
Morocco?
You know, kind of the thing. My country actually qualified.
Hey, don't rub it in.
Don't rub it in, Hickey.
Come on,
God
Hickey.
damn.
Actually, can I
just
say
mean.
I'm kind of rooting for Argentina and Portugal.
Man.
Can go fuck yourself.
Portugal.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Right? It's like this is the last chance we're going to get to see Messi and Ronaldo. This is it, right? And they're
And that's why
gone.
they need
That's
to
it.
be-
It's game over. And like Messi is Messi
They don't
is
need
the,
to be disqualified. They need to be humiliated and then disqualified.
Okay.
As a more
Brazilian.
balanced, neutral European who's got no hope of ever getting to the World Cup anyway. I would like to see Messi and Ronaldo kind of go out. This is the last time we're ever going to see them, and when we're all like old and fucking complaining about young kids these days, we can say that again, right? Like this is it. This is game over for them. So yeah, Morocco winning the World Cup will be great and all that, but Messi, a Portugal Argentina final, settle the debate once and for all. I mean, it's spicy.
I mean, I get that. I definitely do. But
Everybody
at the same
hates
time,
Argentina, apparently, so
At the same time, this is the country that lost to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
that's the
I
funny
don't
thing,
want.
right? See, then Saudi Arabia could print out T-shirts say the World Cup winners, right?
World Cups winners. Yeah. Nah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really care that much about who wins. Like Japan or South Korea, I say that for the memes. I don't necessarily believe they're going to win, but I mean,
No, you
if
got to
they
go
did,
full in. You got to go full in.
That'd be cool. I really like South Korea winning just because, like, I don't know, I like Son a lot. He's a really good player. So yeah, which I hate to say because he's a fucking Tottenham player, and goddamn it, fucking Tottenham.
Tottenham.
So yeah, but whatever.
That's where we
It's
draw the
fine.
line.
Also, you know who also has a lot of Tottenham players is England, and I do not want them to win either. Really don't want them to win.
Like, England is one of those teams where it's like, I'm a big Premier League fan, so normally I should absolutely really fucking root for England. But there's just something about England and their attitude to going into tournaments and whatnot, and all of that shit, like the fans and whatnot, and the media, that always just makes me go, nah, I'm good.
Hey, it's coming home. It's coming home, mate. What are you talking about? Fucking coming home. I'm from Ireland. I cannot legally support or endorse anything English.
I did love the accent. There, that was phenomenal. I clapped to that one. Much better than my Dutch Dutch trial earlier pre-podcast. It just always ends up being German. It's weird.
That's me trying to do a Welsh accent. It always comes out German. I don't know why. I feel like the default accent for anyone trying to do a bad accent is just going to be, well, you're either Jamaican or German. It's somewhere there.
That's great. Sometimes you get to French or Indian. Weirdly enough, I don't know how that works. But
Yes, Indian is a classic one as well. I was going for Polish and I ended up in India. I don't know how that happened, but
Yeah, that happens to me a lot when I try to do a Russian accent, and then it's like, this stopped being Russian a long time ago.
now we're just making fun of Chinese people for some reason. I don't know why.
it started out as yes, bring that vodka over here, Nihon. I was like, whoa, where'd that go?
Capitalist swines. What?
Stereotypes.
It's okay. Everyone's allowed to laugh at Russia.
Do we need to pull the weird, not those opinions do not represent it again.
I mean, it's not just one. So this podcast is not just about one country making fun of the world. We're a multicultural
entity.
Multicultural podcast of just making fun of stereotypes.
And specifically Russian ones. We're really making fun of ourselves, though. We're saying we cannot do accents.
Right.
That's right.
Like if I try to do a Russian accent and it comes out, I don't know, Japanese, like that's just my incompetence. That's not like a.
I have been watching a lot of Akiba Maid Wars, so.
Of course you have.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Russian maid that speaks Japanese. You know.
Yeah.
I just sound like her every time now. It's weird. I don't know how it happens.
No, well, GD's okay.
What?
Never mind. I was going to say nothing. I was going to say something.
You're going to call me a maid?
I realized. No,
I'm not worthy enough to be a maid. I've seen that show. I wouldn't be able to pull the trigger.
Is it good?
It is. Absolutely
it's
funny.
good. It's very fun. It's a fun show. Unbelievably enough.
It is a Yakuza side story, like side quest.
Okay.
The only thing I saw it, I was like, the CG. Is there like animation or the CG just looks a little bit, I don't know, uninviting. We'll say. I don't know. It just
it just doesn't matter. It's so absurd. It just doesn't matter. Again, it's like watching a Yakuza animated series.
Yata, have you ever played any of the Yakuza games?
Dude, I am not a video gamer at all. The last video game I played was probably fucking. I can't even remember.
What,
honestly.
Mario Party on like the GameCube or something?
I don't think I've ever held a GameCube.
Oh man!
I think the last thing I had a PlayStation 2 as a kid, and the end.
Wow.
I don't know. I just never got into video games.
Man. That was my beginning and my end.
Yeah, I plugged it in and I plugged it out, and we all had a great time.
Plugged it out.
I didn't know you could play. I guess I didn't know you could play games with it. I just thought it was sort of like an ornament, you know. It just sort of sat there.
Just thought it was a cheaper DVD player.
Yes.
Turn it on.
Yes.
Turned it on. It had lights. It made sounds. Oh,
yeah,
it was great.
Yeah. I guess I got distracted by a squirrel or something. I don't know. I just. I'm aware of the concept though of video games. I just never really got into them.
I have heard of them before.
I know they are a thing. You know? It's not just like one big conspiracy to trick me that they're actually not video games at all. I've been sort of tempted every so often. Every time a new like a big title comes out, like was it God of War's out right now?
Yeah, buddy.
And I'm like, fuck, that looks good. Or Elden Ring was the one that really got me sort of tempted. But I just don't have the time, dude.
Well, what you do is you just throw on a YouTube video of someone else playing the game, and you're like, got it.
Yeah, good enough. It's kind of like I'm playing it.
Wow, he's getting frustrated. I'm frustrated he's not progressing in the game. What an asshole.
Feels like me watching JD play God of War again.
Whoa,
but yeah,
hey,
no, it's
one time.
No,
there was one time.
my fucking god, JD. The repressed trauma is coming back.
No, it's so good. It's so good. I mean,
Look
a lot of
at the
games
arrow.
nowadays.
What
Yeah,
arrow?
look at the arrow.
No one's
In
ever
the
been stuck in a
ground.
video game before. My God, harsh audience.
Never. Nah, but I mean, like when it comes to like the whole watching video games thing as well, it's just like, especially a lot of single player games now, it's like they're almost like movies in a way. So it's like you can very much watch a lot of games because there's so many just cutscenes and I mean, yeah, literally, like was it the Quarry and shit like that? That I mean, that isn't a game. It's barely a game. It is a movie. Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyways,
I will play the Bakano music, and we'll talk about this Purgatory.
hell yeah.
Here we go. That's got to be the longest drop that we do, just because the music is so awesome. I also think I got to do a Black Lagoon drop. I think that'd be sick. Good little transition there. Okay.
I agree, because I heard that.
You hold... Tori, I know you listen to the Bakano theme song on loop. Okay. Haibane Renmei. Charcoal Feather Federation? Sure. Fall 2002 is when it came out. Has 13 episodes. It's psychological themes, according to Mal. And the synopsis is as followed. Born from a cocoon in the village of Old Home, a young Haibane, a being with a halo and small gray wings, awakens to a world she does not understand. It's okay, neither do I. Without memories of her past, named Raka. What does that mean? Stone? I think it means stone, right?
Falling, right?
Falling?
Falling, yeah.
Which the one? Oh, Reki is the rock.
Stone.
Reki's the rock? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Named Raka for the dream of falling. Right there. Falling she had while inside the cocoon. She soon becomes accustomed to life in the strange town. However, there are strict rules for the Haibane, such as being forbidden to leave the village, go near the walls surrounding it. These, along with mysterious disappearances of their kind on their day of flight, begin to unsettle Raka and the others, since they know almost nothing about their own kind. All right, anybody else want to take a stab at summarizing the show better? Because
it's like Angel
that
Beats
one.
without the emotional manipulation. It's like Angel Beats without the emotional manipulation, but with like serial experiments laying character design.
And it's all speculation because Abe is that kind of guy who goes around saying, no, it's all speculation. I never had the intention. No, they have wings because it's aesthetic.
It's kind of the definition.
The fans can speculate. I like fans speculating, but it's not true. It's not the Purgatory. Ooh, but fan speculation is very good. I don't like the guy, by the way.
It's a definition of what do you think it means?
Oh, yeah, you're in the middle of class, and it's like, well, I think it's this. Really? Do you now? Okay.
It could be.
So that character committed suicide, and Abe goes, no, of course not. That's just your interpretation, my man. It's like, what do you mean? It's a fact.
She saw the fucking train coming at her.
That could mean anything, JD. Come on.
The fear of public transportation. Got it.
You know what? Yes.
Yeah, I had that
The amount of times I'm going to take public transportation, I'm just standing there waiting for the bus, and I start thinking to myself, it's like, do I just,
not get on it this time?
No. Yeah. Turn around, Tori. That's what you're going to say.
Yes.
The day of flight has happened. You will not get on this bus.
I'm stopping. Listen, I'm stopping there and I'm leaving the rest up to your interpretation. What was the ending to my sentence?
Tori, A, turn around.
Tori's life is just a what are those choose your own adventure books? That's what it is.
A, he throws himself in front of the bus. B, he turns around. Or C, he goes to school.
That's the fun part as well. My life is a choose your own adventure tale, but no matter which fucking choice you pick, you always end up in the same spot. It doesn't matter.
Home.
It's all the illusion of choice.
Contemplating tough life choices of the day. But isn't that Haibane Renmei at the end of the day? It's just that. She goes to some mundane job.
It's not a choose your own adventure.
No, it absolutely is. She's got to go to some mundane job, not get paid for it, write her shit in a notebook, and then she goes to sleep. Yeah?
And sometimes her friends die. Yes.
Hey,
just
you don't know.
Life.
Maybe. Do they die, Hickey?
I mean, die in a just,
I mean, to me, they just left.
Sense.
They threw that shitty halo on the ground and just went past the wall. Just left.
They took off the halo, they turned on the spotlight for some reason, and left.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
We're a bunch of dicks.
What a shitty way to leave your friends.
Not even a goodbye. Not even a goodbye.
Yeah, you cannot. You need to just go gentle into the night, I guess.
Yeah.
Think of the electricity bill, man. Have you not seen fucking electricity price in Europe recently? Jeez.
Look, I'm still waiting for my first mortgage, electricity bill payment. I gotta pay oil. You kidding me? Oh my god. All right. So, I do not like this show, while Yata really likes this show. So we're on total opposite ends of the spectrum here. This is my third attempt watching the show, and I did finally finish it this time. How about that, guys?
Good, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah. The last attempt of me watching the show was in 2015. I know this because Mal told me so.
Hell yeah.
Well, could you tell me why you're not a fan of it? Is it's like you think it's too boring? I could see that being a thing.
So
it's quite slow and
it's extremely slow. It's very mundane. The way the writing goes about with the various metaphors and illusionary techniques, I think, is also very boring. It like I don't get any real enjoyment over figuring anything out in the show or my own interpretations. It's just, and then I remember my first time watching it was I didn't really think about anything deep with the show. It just it really just felt like a bunch of young girls, sometimes guys, show up, going to work and then not getting paid for it. That's why I made that joke earlier. It's a very nothing show to me, and it's not like I hate it. I just don't get much enjoyment out of it. And it's very much in the same realm of how I feel about a lot of this other guy's works. It's just not exciting for me. It's not my kind of show.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I can totally see that. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if someone asked me to, to anticipate why I think people wouldn't like it, it would be for those kind of reasons. Because it does, like, I think someone made a joke in the last episode you guys had about, what the kids would describe as a vibe.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
I actually tend to seek out vibes in shows a lot, where if you can get me with a sort of a mood and a sort of like a slower pacing, I'm just sort of there for sort of the characters and the world itself. I don't really need too much more from it than that.
Okay, I'll give you an example of when I get to that. I get the vibe and I'm into just what you said, and that's going to be the next show that we're doing is Mushishi.
Yes, I was going to mention Mushishi. Now the one thing about Mushishi that's kind of different from this show is it's episodic, right? So there's sort of like a goal to be met in each episode, where this one sort of just is. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And
yeah. I feel exactly that way.
And I could see if you're looking for something, like I want some sort of closure or something definitive that I can say, this is what this is about and this is what happened in this episode. It doesn't really give you that, right? Like it could feel like, as a criticism, I could say it feels sort of aimless, right? Like it's just sort of like nothing of consequence really happens. Therefore, why should I care? And I can understand that point of view, but I just don't feel that way about it. I find this the same way a lot of people would gravitate towards a Mushishi for being sort of like a therapeutic, relaxing thing. What is it called? Inuyashiki. That's sort of like food, comfort foods anime, where you just sort of watch it and it's just sort of like it's about the vibe and the atmosphere, and it sort of chills you out and sort of de-stresses you. I get that with Mushishi, but I also get this with Haibane Renmei as well. And I actually kind of do like the speculation as well. Like I found myself thinking, especially the first time I watched it, I was like, oh shit, I wonder, like, are they unbaptized? Are they, because as a Catholic, I grew up Catholic in Ireland, and Ireland's a really quite religious society.
Whoa, hold on. Are you sure?
Well, last time I checked. Yeah.
Hold on, let me just take a look outside. Yes.
I remember there's a couple of pieces of media that I would they're like core tenets of Irish culture, we'll say, where we had to study it in school or whatever. And the big thing is how taboo suicide was as a concept, right? And the idea of if you commit suicide, you are sort of you don't get to go to heaven, but you don't necessarily get to go to hell either. You sort of exist, all of this kind of shit, like limbo space. And I found myself watching it the first time around and just kind of thinking about what exactly are these Haibane. Then I found that quite interesting. And as the world kind of unraveled itself a little bit more as the episodes went on, I found that was enough to keep me interested. Couple that with the sort of the chilling kind of by chill I mean relaxing, not chilling as in scary. sort of atmosphere the show has. Me really liking the soundtrack and how sparse the sound design was. I really kind of vibed with the show. And again, I'm using the word vibe here, but it is a vibe to me. But that's not for everybody, because like if I talk to the guys who I do podcasts with, they'll be like, "You are fucking. You must be smoking something, dude. This is boring as fuck. I don't get it whatsoever."
I can relate to that.
Yeah, that's it. And I can completely understand that, because I know a lot of people feel that way. I want something. I have 23 minutes, and I just wasted 23 minutes on sort of nothing. But for me, it's just I never like really felt that way, But I can sympathize with that perspective, and I can totally understand that. And that's why I think a lot of people have like when they think of Abe, they think more of Serial Experiments Lane, because at least with that one, as weird as it is, you feel like you're sort of going somewhere.
Abe, dude, he didn't wrote any of those shows. This is the only show he actually wrote.
Yeah, he didn't even. The big frustration with this one is like the fact that he kind of dropped the manga to make this. So it's not like you can kind of turn around and go, "Oh shit! Well, it wouldn't be great to know what happens." And it all like more about the world and build it out, because I actually think the world itself is from like a coming from like a fantasy fan perspective. Like I think the world is quite interesting, and like the culture around the Haibane themselves, it was like very kind of fascinating to see how that sort of like played out, and that kind of stuff is just inherently interesting to me, and that's probably why I like the show so much. Also, it was one of the earliest first anime I ever saw, and it left an impression on me. So there's probably like a nostalgia hinge to things as well. But I guess the question more so would be about Hickey and Tori, because you guys are sort of like I know Hickey, you said you don't like Abe's work and you don't like Abe, so
no, I don't like him,
you might be with JD on this one.
No. I actually like his works. I don't like the guy.
He can separate the artist from the actual work.
Art.
Yeah, no, I quite like Haibane Renmei, actually. Not so much because of the vibe, but I guess a little bit. I think the world of Haibane Renmei is extremely eerie. Also coming from a Catholic country and being born and raised a Catholic, you don't want to be in that place. the city.
Wait, Brazil is religious
too? Of course,
too?
it's always speculation.
What's going on here?
Let me just take a look outside. Yes, it is.
Gosh, man.
It's this once you get hold of what is going on, and even before the Sinbound thing kind of starts, the city is kind of eerie. It's always kind of, I don't know, cloudy, and the colors are kind of, everything's kind of discolored. Like we're in an eternal autumn.
It's very gray. Like, the whole show is very gray, and brown.
Everything's very
sepia.
Gray. The music's kind of eerie as well. So I had this feeling of there's something very wrong.
Yeah.
With the atmosphere of this place, but
a question for you, Hickey. Do you always feel like something bad was about to happen?
Yes,
I always got this.
The crows.
I always got that. Like, I always got that sense like there's like, oh shit, something's going to happen. Well, the first time, like there's something's going to happen soon, and it's not going to be good. I totally get that eeriness as well. I think it was a good call.
Even when the show is developing, and it's very cute. A lot of things, there's the festival, and you give the little nut, the colored nut to someone, to signify something, and you see the characters around, and the humans actually like really care about them most of the time, although they don't explain what the humans are. There's still that lingering eerie of the show that I really, really enjoy. And after everything, it just, again, I might don't like the guy, but I enjoy this work a lot. Actually, I watched it, but I think it's the 4th or 5th time I watched the show.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, it's kind of like I also actually like Haibane Renmei. I'm a little like So the whole like not explaining thing angle, right? Sort of just raising more and more questions is something that I'm kind of off and on about depending on the show. And there are definitely things with Haibane Renmei that I do kind of wish that they would have gone a little bit more into, maybe at some stuff that I feel like could have been. I guess for lack of a better word, I feel like some of the or a lot of symbolism isn't very consistent. It sort of feels like rather than sort of sticking to just a single core idea, it sort of feels like he tries to throw in a lot of smaller details in there as well sometimes to just that he just kind of tries to throw you off, I guess. But I don't know. I could be completely wrong. So yeah, but I do agree. Like the mood of the show, the eeriness, sort of from the very beginning, just sort of being introduced, like falling, the crow attaching to Raka and trying to save her, trying to stop her from falling is like. When I saw that the first time, I took that as like her not or the crow trying to stop her from going there, right? And it's just like first thing then that immediately pops into my mind is this a bad place? And then it's like you're hit with all the moody colors, all the gray, all the stuff, and it's like, and then it's the whole story about this place, a place to protect you. This is a good place. This is a paradise. This is all of this, but we can't go outside the walls. Don't touch the walls. Very bad stuff. That's like, this is strange. Some weird feeling, but I mean, and yeah, then the show kind of just goes about on its own pace, and yeah. I think it's fun. I think it's fine. Like it's not definitely not my favorite show or anything like that, but it's definitely an interesting take. It's an interesting show.
We don't have a lot of esoteric anime, so it's interesting to see when it goes there. Well, not serious esoteric anime.
Yeah,
doesn't involve big boobs and magic powers. Like the only other one is kind of like Sand Young Man, which is that anime about Buddha and Jesus living in Japan.
Oh yeah, right.
So
it's
Yata,
interesting to see like
Yata, you brought up religion earlier, and how you're religious, and you know the show.
Well, I'm not religious personally, but I was like raised in a Catholic environment. Yeah.
Okay, but you got the background of knowledge for it. I was not.
To some degree. Yeah.
It's to some degree. I was not raised religious at all. So my first time watching this, I was, living in America, Christianity and all that. My brother's very religious though, for what that's worth. But anyways, my knowledge of Christianity and just a lot of religion in general is very surface level for a lot of things. And this got me thinking about how I consumed and watched Hozuki's cool-headedness. A lot of Japanese culture involved with religion and afterlife and all that. And the presentation of that show at least got me interested in looking up and educating myself on a lot of the backgrounds. What does this mean? What is this character? What is essentially? And with Haibane Renmei, I'm like, okay, so we got Angel Girl with a halo, and they're kind of hanging out, and never really drove my interest in looking up anything. Like, it didn't even come across on my first watch as something religious. It was just they were existing in this town, and they happened to look like angels. And I know that was, God, that must have been, 10, 12 years ago when I first watched it, but that's just how I ended up consuming the show, and it didn't really spark anything to take that extra step. I spoke about that with Mononoke in the last episode, where, upon watching it for the second time, I wanted to dive deeper. It did spark that interest. Well, this one, I remember it didn't do that. And even watching it this time and me finishing, it just wasn't. I didn't get any sense of satisfaction into bothering with a lot of the metaphors and why they were going to point A, point B. Like, why are there humans there? Do I need to? Is there something in religion I'm missing to why these humans exist in this world, while there's seemingly these angel creatures walking around and being, I don't know, they can't what's the rule? They can't acquire anything new, and they can't use money, and yet the concept of trade and payment is through a notebook. Am I missing something religiously of why that's a thing, or what's going on here with a lot of these aspects of the show?
Honestly, so that's probably like I don't know if Hickey has any experience with that. I just really saw that as world building in terms of like we're sort of setting out the guidelines here, especially that first couple of episodes. I think the notebook thing was introduced in episode 2. It really just felt like, okay, that was just like a sort of like, or at least I read it as just this is a writer creating his own sort of space, right? I don't think it was necessary. I think it's like it's maybe religious the same way sort of like Evangelion is sort of religious. They're sort of taking pieces to create their own sort of story. Does that make sense? So like,
yeah, no, that does make sense.
Yeah, so like you're like, okay, I like this idea of like these angel wings and this halo, right? There's like there's a chain of associations associated that one, because when people see these things, they automatically think of something. Now I'm going to put them into this space here, and like whatever I'm going to do these shit, but whatever people think and whatever people interpret, maybe it's like it can go whatever way. It feels like it's very loose in terms of like, I do get the sense that for better or for worse, there's a lot of like, well, what do you think? You know what I mean? With the show, it's just
yeah. So the
notebook thing does struck me as weird. Yeah. Go ahead.
To interrupt you with the existence of angels, kind of in your the existence of angels are in your face, and my immediate thought is heaven. Heaven and hell. Like, all right, so where are they exactly? Is this actually heaven? But then they constantly talk about moving on. So at least in that sense, you go, okay, so are they actually in heaven? And then what's the purpose? And that last question I constantly asked was just from a surface value of what I get from that is, well, then what is the purpose? And I could never really answer that. That was my struggle.
Yeah, my interpretation of it was that it was some sort of purgatory or play on purgatory. So if anyone's not familiar with purgatory, it's essentially like sort of between space, right? It's not quite heaven, it's not quite hell. Generally, it's sort of reserved for like, I guess, like unbaptized children. That's how they kind of scare people. At least we're in Ireland, like unbaptized babies go to purgatory.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that before, actually.
And
here's like everyone goes to purgatory. Like once you die, you need to be purified, basically.
I'm pretty sure
that's it. The idea to need to be purified, right? Because I was thinking of this, like, so I mentioned at the beginning,
so like everyone goes because everyone kind of sins in life. It's kind of something we do, so we just go there and to be judged, and they give you a sentence. It's like, okay, just I don't know, claim that thing, and you go to heaven, become hot gas, happy hot gas. They go, okay.
Happy hot gas.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess so. If you're thinking about like purgatory, okay, that's how when I first saw it, I was like, this has to be purgatory, right? Like they're not, because there's no way this is. Yeah.
Like, and it's the moment they got the wings are gray and not white. I was like, okay, that's purgatory.
Do you think when they sort of like disappear or go beyond the walls, that's sort of them, like
going to
moving to heaven? Like,
ascending.
Yeah, that's the way I read it. Yeah.
Well, they do talk about it. They do talk about it in the show.
Play.
Or the angel beats thing. I kind of mentioned angel beats because it has this sort of thing where the
angel beats kind of reincarnate.
Yeah, but it's the idea like they have a moment of acceptance, right? There's like a breakthrough moment psychologically, and then they kind of move on from this place. Whether it's to heaven, you know what I mean? It's not a one for one. Yeah.
When Ku gets the day of flight, it's kind of like that. She starts giving away her things, and it's like, oh no, it's okay. You filled me up with what I needed, and then she just disappears,
disregarding your earthly possessions to move on to the next life.
Yeah.
Like you're leaving your baggage behind, right?
They all have different reasonings as well, right? Like some that don't want to go until they've seen everyone else, their friends, off, stuff like that. And there's a lot of that. I can see same thing like once the Sin Bound is introduced, because the thing they said about the Sinban was that they would not get the day of flight and they would be stuck there. So I can easily see, like, for example, when we talk about what's the humans, I mean, considering the fact that there seems to be generally, apart from with the Haibane themselves, there doesn't seem to be that much despise for the Sinbad Haibane. I could easily see them just being people that could never go to heaven.
That would play into the suicide thing, right? Because like,
the suicide thing, yes, because the suicide thing to me is very prevalent, not just with Eki and the very obvious train incident, but like same thing with Raka and the falling. No, but like same thing with the Raka and the falling, right? Which the whole thing with that was like she is falling and being a crow is trying to save her, but she tells it to let go. She constantly talks about wanting to be alone, or it feels like she is completely alone. Nobody loves her. She's trying to figure out her dream. The crows are calling to her, and it's like that whole incident as well on the bottom of the well where she finds the body of the crow. That like that was someone that she claims is somebody who probably tried to protect her and stuff like that. And yeah, I could absolutely see that being her killing herself, jumping off a building, something, I don't know. And that's why.
Friend tried to save her and ended up falling with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And coming back as a bird because, goddamn,
even goddamn crows.
Even post life is not fair.
God. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's also because like why cannot acquire new things? It's pretty much probably because of that. If we're going into the Purgatory, what's the fucking point of you going straight if you just become bounded by earthly things in your afterlife? There's just less attachment, pretty much, but it's just world building. Just like the guys who goes around outside the wall and they cannot talk; they just use their hands.
So, what's the interpretation of getting sick in this world? Like touching the wall, or is that sickness brought upon by their own psychological guilt, or what?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I guess that's just a plot device as well, honestly, because the Hyoko, he didn't get sick; he got hit by a lightning.
Yeah, true.
He almost bled out, just straight up.
Yeah,
and I wonder if it's mainly just a thing where like there are consequences for breaking the rules, and like.
Could be.
Like, it could literally be a situation is like where you're here to perform a sort of like ritual. The ritual is you like, we're assuming is to sort of like become one with, or at least do some sort of atonement and or like kind of like come to terms with something in your character in order for you to move on to either heaven or to a new stage of life or re-life. Maybe just that like the sickness or the lightning or not going beyond the walls is just it's like it's kind of like to keep you on track, right?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly, but I said the show is so fucking like
esoteric,
open-ended that just a lot
open-ended, of course. Yeah, I mean, like, nice. But that's interesting as well, right? Because it's simply talking about like the seas, right? Like, why do they get sick? And one thing that I definitely find interesting as well with that is just how these guys are. Well, as far as we know, they're somewhat human, right? Because the Haibane can get sick. The humans exist, and in this world, and we are basically also told that they will eventually die, which sort of seems there's also a part of this that sort of tries to build that human quality in them, like they're not quite dead yet. And they will eventually die, which I don't know. Again, but that's what I mean when I say there's also some like
that didn't
feeling a little bit like conflicting like points added in there. So it's like it's purgatory, but they aren't quite dead, and therefore they still have human, basic human stuff like disease, and they apparently can die in this place. Okay,
they grow older as well.
They grow older, they age. So it's like, so yeah, they don't come off as if they're some sort of like, immortal beings or anything like that, or like post life. It just feels like this is another step in life. And I've seen some theories floating around that this place exists to allow, since the Haibane are usually younger, especially when they come out they're younger, that this is a place for children who died young to get a second chance at fulfilling something they never got the chance to do in life.
Like a reset,
which I think is interesting. Yeah, essentially.
Like a replay, yeah. I was thinking that as well. Like maybe it's literally such a situation where, there was like they're through suicide or just early like childhood mortality. They got to go kind of like a real life situation where they go back and fulfill a certain amount of like life experience or a sort of task just to like. Again, I kind of love this shit though. That's kind of one of the reasons I really like the show. So I think you could speculate on it endlessly, for better or for worse.
It's an interesting conversation topic.
Yes. Just meeting new people and go, so, what do you think? What do you think the afterlife is like? I watched a show called Haibane Renmei, and I think it talks about dead kids feeling their dreams. It's like, what?
Funny you should talk about that, because I've been thinking about that a lot myself lately.
Man.
I didn't realize that until
dead
now.
People, though, dead kids.
The first time I came on this podcast, we did Night on the Galactic Railroad, and
oh my god,
I kind of feel like I know it's kind of like we're on this like a weird sort of sequel to that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Everything's about the
You're not wrong.
punishment of
There's
life
something
and death.
wrong with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently. I gotta preface that I do not spend all my time obsessing about young dead children. I don't do that.
Nah, it's okay.
It was a happy coincidence.
Happy coincidence.
And then you also
at
need
least
to do Ghost Town.
goes.
I really like that one as well.
About dead kids.
Jeez.
We've got a theme going on here.
All right, we're about to talk about dead kids. Yata, he is back.
I will say about Ghost Town. The appeal to Ghost Town and Haibane Renmei was mainly their weird as fuck kind of vibes. I think, as far as I'm not remembering incorrectly, I think Rintaro Nakamura directed Ghost Town. I might be wrong there, but that was kind of the reason why I really wanted it. Like, I really kind of vibes with Ghost Town. It's because I feel like it's sort of in this space, Dead Kids aside, it is a good show.
Dead Kids aside.
Dead kids aside. That does go with the theme of Red Leaf Retrocast in general. Is the hatred of children.
Yeah.
Especially orphans.
I wonder yeah. I was about to say, it's weird that Yata didn't show up for the heavy podcast, but it's like, well, actually, they were still alive. She was just in a wheelchair. It's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Her entire future might have been ruined, but she was still technically alive.
Oh,
She still got a heartbeat. Then I don't care.
Well, how old is Angel Beats at this point in time? That's gotta be up there, right?
I think it's like 2000.
Was that like 2009?
2009, 2010. Yeah, it's probably like a couple of years.
2010, yeah. It was
Okay.
12 years.
Holy shit.
All right, it's getting there. We're getting close.
It's getting there.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll be on for that one if you guys are if you're lacking a guest. Right up my alleyway, apparently.
Right up my alley. Oh yeah. Nah, but at least these things are fun talking points. That's the most important thing, Could have easily come out and be like, I really like, I don't know, insert like standard rom-com and be like, okay, what do we talk about here?
Yeah. How about that part where they almost kiss? Great, right?
Right. Oh yeah, dude, I love that. I love that in every other show I've also seen ever.
In episode 507, when they actually touched their hands together,
when he blushed uncontrollably when he accidentally made contact with her, she sort of quickly ran.
And it only took 500 episodes. Holy shit, dude.
Oh, so you've seen
so worth it.
So you've also seen Urusei Yatsura.
So worth it. Listen, man, we're over 1,000 episodes in, and fucking Luffy still hasn't found the One Piece. So
hold on. I've recently I'm back on my One Piece binge. I'm watching that. It's he's finally learning. He's learning some things. Let's go. Come on. I think I'm on. I think I'm on like 965 now. Yeah.
Damn, that's like nothing.
Well, I'm over 1,000 with Detective Conan. So. Did you know the English dub is almost caught up with One Piece?
Yata pressed the X again.
Did he? What the fuck?
Probably.
Unbelievable, this guy. Did he move on? Did he go? Did he get his shining light moment? His day of flight?
All right, he's back in general now. He's back in general. Get him in.
Oh.
Get him in.
Get him in. Get back here.
I did it again.
We're not done with you yet, Yata. You can't leave.
I'm sorry. I've been like trying to like research stuff on the side. I'm like, oh, you know, and I keep on closing the fucking wrong article. Sorry.
The day of flight almost came.
Yeah, that's what it was. I thought I'd cleared up all my business. I was ready to ascend, and turns out, still more business to do.
I fulfilled everything I want to say. I talked about dead kids. Time to fly.
Time to go join them.
My wings are just becoming black. That's all that's happening to me.
So like weird story, like arts aside, what do you guys think of like Abe's like character like designs and the art in general? Because I quite like his art style. I think it's quite unique. And I actually kind of like the grey sepia tone and the sort of sun flares that was going on. The lighting was really weird, but I really kind of like I really enjoy how this looks visually, except for the CG. The CG was crappy. This is probably fine.
Honestly, on animation, I don't like it. But on like normal drawings, just graphic novels and whatnot, I enjoy his art because it's very oil on paint looking. So it's very unique and interesting. And the colors are more saturated. But when it comes down to animation, even the other animations I don't enjoy, especially because they try to do this coloration with, you know, the Zero Experiments in Lane being the worst offender because everything is just white. But when it comes down to art style and his artwork, yes, the art style in animation, I don't like it. Not at all. I don't know why. There's something wacky, especially when the characters are 3 to 4 or 3x4 view. It's kind of weird.
So I don't know. Like, there's something, especially in like talking about the anime art style, at least. It kind of reminds me of like. It doesn't so much remind me of like Abe's style as much as it reminds me of like this like weird period, like early 2000s, like moody show style.
I'm thinking the exact same thing.
Right? If you remember, like Witch Hunter Robin, it doesn't look the same or anything. That's not what I mean. But like, it kind of gives a little bit of the same vibe in like how it's framed, lighting, lots of brown, gray stuff like that. Right? You know what I mean, right? And it's like
flat plain character like faces, not a whole lot of animation going on. Yeah, I associate this style with like the early to mid 2000s of just peak non-inspiration.
Yeah, it's like, okay, there's not a whole lot like facial expressions. Yeah, facial expression. But like when you look at the actual like drawings as done by himself for like the stuff, it's like they look a lot more. They're definitely a lot more detailed. There's a lot more going on there, even though they're still very like blank expression. But it's like you get a lot more out of it in anime because mostly just like it becomes a little too flat in my opinion. And then, you know, the typical sort of early 2000s anime junk where it's like, oh, look at those black feathers. Oh, my God. Anyways, we're changing a camera angle right now. And look at that. All the black on the feathers is now gone. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
They couldn't even be bothered drawing it in, huh?
Let's see. Who made this show? Yeah. Studio what?
The coloring
Radix?
on Haibane
Renmei.
Yeah.
What the hell is Studio Radix?
Studio Radix. You don't know. They did such amazing things like Love Get You and Cream Lemon, New Generation.
Silent Mobius. Ah, yes. How can we all not forget? Yeah.
Can we all not remember?
Yeah. I weirdly
like-
actually do remember that show. I have an old VHS tape of it somewhere in Texas. But anyways.
Somewhere in Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, they did Comic Party.
Specifically
Yeah.
Houston, but anyways.
Oh, they're Hickey's favorite studio.
Yeah, I mean, did Comic Party? Well, only the second season. Okay. Yeah, only the second season. of Comic Party.
I also
I take that as a never mind.
Comic Party is probably one of the funniest worst animes I ever watched.
No.
I'm
No.
so reluctant of choosing it for this podcast because it's just about drawing and comic, but they skip all the drawing and all the comic. It's like, okay, I'm going to draw now. My doujinshi. It's gonna take 3 months, and it's the end of the episode. The next episode, you think, you're gonna show the guy drawing. No, it's just skipped 3 months. Like, what the fuck? What's the point? Anyway, Haibane Renmei, and definitely the best work of the studio.
I think like near under
Based
7.
on that character glance, yes.
Yeah, the list is not
Maybe
great.
under
7. Yeah. I don't know, I think I like Haibane Renmei more than the under 7. The under 7's a little. I don't know. I don't vibe massively with the humor in the under 7. I guess
I don't vibe with
it's
it.
a little.
Let's see.
It's a little. Repetitive.
Oh my god, I see my notes from Nie under 7 and under subject as poor people. Great.
That was a vital point of the under 7. Yes.
Great. Fantastic. I guess technically I like Haibane Renmei more than Nie under 7. How about that?
There you go.
Perfect. There we go. Now we're going somewhere.
What did
Now we're
I
getting somewhere.
give Serial Experiments Lane? Let's see. I'm looking back. Not as good as that apparently. Okay.
What did you give it? You gotta tell us now.
So I gave Nie under 7 a 3 out of 10. I
shit.
gave Serial Experiments
Okay.
Lane a
Score?
5 out of 10. And so
Haibane
that'll
Renmei's a
give you
4.
Haibane Renmei is a 4 out of 10 for me. Yeah.
Oh, savage. Is this a mal rating, by the way?
It's a mal rating, and
That is extra savage because
I was about to say it's like if this is mal rating, then it should have been like a 6, because the 6 is fucking dog shit.
wow.
Uh,
I mean, I kind of give them. Look, 5 out of 10's like average. Didn't really enjoy it. Didn't hate it. Didn't like it. Kind of thing. And then I just kind of go from there.
yeah.
Look, we've been over this.
You might be the only person who does this. I literally thought mal rating started at 7.
Well, for
like
those
7.
people, yeah.
Mal ratings definitely do start at 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, nah. We like to use the entirety of the 10 scale, except for Hickey, who doesn't like 1s or 10s because he's weird like that. But yeah, nah. For me, Haibane Renmei is I'd give it like a 7. Like I enjoy it. It's definitely not the sort of show that I would go out of my way. I watched it once and I was satisfied, and I rewatched it now for this podcast purposes. But like, it's not the sort of show I would see myself like revisiting a whole lot just to be like, man, am I going to get something new out of it? I'm never going to get anything new out of it. I might think of new theories, but it's still just going to be like, yes, maybe that is something he was trying to say. I will still never know, but could be.
Could be.
Mm-hmm.
Vicky, what would you give it out of 10?
I gave it an 8, actually.
Oh shit!
Because I really enjoy it. Like I said, I watched this 6, maybe 5, maybe 6 times. No, it's just one of the out of the.
It took me 3 times just to finish
It's not. Yeah, it's mostly because again I enjoy Abe's work. I don't like how he goes around it, and it's something with his art style, and then cover arts and every single official art is by him, which is they're really good and distinct, and the story is not by Chiaki Konaka, which every time makes everything very complicated. So it's kind of light and nice. Even with the theories and whatnot, they're very light. They're direct enough, so you can speculate on why exactly make the Haibane qualify to be a Haibane. The rest is kind of explained to you at some point, with the train incident, or the communicator guy going around at the end, going, look, Sinbound, they just lose the wings and halos, and they just get stuck here. And he kind of sleeps and go, the Haibane needs to have the day of flight, because that's how they become happy. He's like, I see you fucked up. Those kind of things are throw at you. You're not asking for it. The anime just kind of slaps at you. It's like, nah, there you go. So something for you. And you can speculate a little bit. It's fun. I think it's a neat show. I like the eerie feeling the show has. So I gave it an 8.
I did ask myself this question about the show, and I wondered, what if I just didn't watch this at the right time of my life? Like, if I was, 13, watching the show, I would have felt way differently about it. Because the frame of mind that a lot of angsty teenagers have probably vibe with the show a lot more. You want something that you can dive your psyche into, feel the vibe a lot more. And I watched this, essentially when I was kind of in my early 20s, and didn't really feel that way. So maybe I've asked that question about shows like this a number of different times.
I watched Witch Hunt Robin, or tried to, when I was like 14, 15, and that show is dog shit.
Well,
I was about to say,
all agree with that.
The reason why I disagree with that is just because I know myself at 13, and I can tell you I wouldn't have been able to sit through one episode of Haibane Renmei at 13. I would be like, there's nothing happening. Give me some action. Where's the giant robot smashing everything? Where's the action? Where's the explosion?
JD,
why is no one died yet?
JD, have you ever watched Sora no Woto?
Say that again, Hickey.
Sora no Woto.
English title, maybe?
God damn.
Not familiar.
Is it the forest?
The English title is Sora no Woto.
Oh. Well,
It's the forest.
Sound of the Sky. Sound of the Sky.
Oh, Sound of the Sky, yes. That's actually a really good show, by the way.
It is.
Sora
It's kind
no
of close.
Oto?
It's
like Oto.
yeah, Sound of Sky.
Sound of Sky.
Sound of the Sky.
Oh, it is Moe Blobs. I will say that. Though.
It is, but it's kind of like
not a
Haibane
K-on!
Renmei, but without the death, I guess.
Sound of the Sky. Let's see. There's
death because they're technically in a war. So
the best kind of death.
A lot of great trumpet solos as well.
I am not familiar with this. No.
Okay.
This is a big budget one as well. It's A1, right? Is it this one?
This is A1, yeah. Yeah, A1.
Again, I think it's like it was like definitely like inspired by the K-On! Sort of like gold rush. Like we have to have these Moe characters sort of doing, but it's definitely like way above average for like that particular genre space. I think, Sound of the Sky is fucking awesome.
2010.
Well, awesome, maybe.
No, very, very much unfamiliar.
Anyway, it's kind of the same vibe, but happy, technically.
Technically.
Right, if you say so.
Because that would be kind of showing in the same category, question mark? But you watched it way later, I guess, in life. I don't know if there's any other... Maybe... Is there any show like Haibane Renmei? There's not a lot of esoteric anime out there. There's not Angel Bits.
Well, there's Technolize. we still got that on the list. I think that's last. We got. We already did Rasafan.
Rasafan. Yeah, that's a show.
Do you not think there's like certain elements of Mushishi in Haibane Renmei in terms of like, I don't know. There's like a lot of earthy colors. It's sort of like,
Oh, I absolutely
I think
do.
it's generally kind of, yeah. I know it's
yeah.
not like a one. They're like, it's very like, because Haibane Renmei is so odd, and Mushishi is kind of so odd in itself. They're both kind of like quite unique kind of shows, so it's very hard to like have something that's like directly sort of relatable. But I think you could do worse than say like, oh well, you know, if you like Haibane Renmei, you might like Mushishi.
Yeah, well, I mean, during this watch and on the back end of Mononoke, I put into chat, is Mushi, like, I was just in the mood. Like, I got in a mood, for sure. And I proposed the question, is Mushishi old enough? Yes. Like, well, that's going to be the next episode. Like, that is how that came to be.
Looking at the on the Mal recommendations, they have like Kino's Journey, which I can kind of see.
Kino's Journey.
Kino's Journey's there, yeah.
They have Aria the animation. They have Aria the animation over here, and I couldn't agree any less.
Angel.
I mean, Aria the animation. Like, yes, I absolutely remembered when they died and went to Purgatory. What?
Yes.
Well, they're on Mars having some vibes, you know.
They got sent you fucking a Mars colony, dude.
I don't know how much closer to Purgatory you can get.
Fucking full of water.
They were sent to Venice in Mars.
It says here, the Aria the animation one, the rationale was a slow and gentle progression, showing a different worlds, that the different people that live there and their various occupations, while the involved characters grow and learn about life. Like, he's not wrong.
I'm agreeing with the Mal dude.
Sure, but I don't know. It's like learning about life.
Someone actually
don't really learn about life.
Chance in life.
Yeah. Aria, they don't really learn about life. It's mostly just like, I want to be an Undine. It's like, okay, cool. Here, you practice to become an Undine. It's like, okay. And then anyways, here's like all those things you take for granted about life, you know, all the little treasures in everyday life. It's like, hey, have you ever just stopped and smelled the flowers and looked around and take a look at Venice? I mean, looks pretty beautiful. It doesn't actually look like Venice completely because it looks more like a general.
It's not a sinking old city that smells.
It definitely is not. Well, kind of is a sinking old city, but it does not smell. At least they didn't say it smelled. But you know,
it definitely smells.
That's about it.
Definitely.
And
then
of course, that one episode where they went to the Japanese shrine because the Japanese shrine island because of the NRE shrine island because that of course has to be a thing.
Of course. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, no.
So what is your score, Yata?
I think the rating on Mal is like 7.97, which is like 8 basically.
Yeah.
And I think I'm there with Hickey and the Mal score, which is kind of rare. But I think I would be
a Mal user.
I am a Mal user, but I tend to not agree with the Mal scores generally. Everything is a 7, 8, or a 9, basically, or not everything is a 7 or an 8. In this case, I think actually is an 8. For a lot of reasons, Hickey said, like, this is not the first time I've gone back to Haibane Renmei. It's not the 6th time either. I think this is the 3rd time, and I'm not gonna lie, yes, and I think I will. I can see myself going back to this a 4th time. Honestly, I really do enjoy this series. Yeah, I don't know, like 13-year-old me would have handled it, honestly. On that respect, I definitely see this as a show I appreciate more as I got older. Because I just feel like I feel like I have less need to know all the answers, shall we say? And this, if you need to have answers, this show would fucking infuriate you. Like if you did get through it, you know. I can see a lot of people not being happy with the ending, for example, and just the whole.
I was very
journey.
dissatisfied with the ending. I was.
Yeah,
I can totally understand that.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
You learn
what happens to her? That's the only thing I cared about.
It's like you learn all of these things. It's like, okay, this is purgatory, yeah, whatever. Everybody's like moving on, okay. And so what? Why does this matter? It's like, I don't know.
You'll never
figure it out. You will figure out why it matters.
And when you do, you will transcend. Maybe that's why it'd be.
Well, that's why we can never know the answer, because when we know the answer, that'll be the day of our flight.
Yeah. Do you know the meaning of life? No, I can't help you.
God.
Someday an old man is going to show up at my door and he will hand me a fucking thing and it's like, this contains your real name. And I'll be like, oh God. Oh no.
My name's not Tori. Shit.
Oh, no, not the train incident again.
All right, Yata. You got some plugs for us one last time?
Yeah, my anime podcast. NSA anime podcast. That's it, basically.
Well, all right. This was episode 139. Getting ever closer to 150. Maybe we'll do a hentai episode pretty soon.
Oh,
yay! Finally.
Yeah, we got those. We got that spot,
hentai.
dude. We got that Spotify Wrapped, and it's just like, oh, look at our top anime ever, and of course the hentai is like right there. It's just number
To be
2.
fair, that is a golden hentai with the birch trees.
Yeah, well, let me
Never going to the birch trees.
Hold on, before I gotta share. Oh, hold on. It was what were the top ones again? Oh yeah.
Again,
Yeah. It was the fucking dog shonen show was
Shonen
number
dogs.
1. It was like 778% more streams than our average episode. And then number 2 was fucking Stainless Night. It was like, my God. Success.
What? I kind of wonder what our most downloaded episode ever was fucking Code Realize.
Code
Realize. Oh
Code
my
Realize.
God.
I swear to God. Dude.
Oh my
Code
God, no.
Yes. It was like whatever it is about, whatever it was about that particular that show. For some reason, people wanted to hear about it. I'm gonna go check now. I'm pretty certain it was Code Realize last time I checked, though. It always baffled me. Like that was like more mysterious than Haibane Renmei to me. It's like how the Code Realize episode got so many fucking downloads.
It's always the ones you least suspect. Although we do suspect why the hentai episodes get the most.
Yes, I could probably figure that one out. Definitely.
I can definitely figure out why that is. I mean, that's the same thing. It's like I am actually concerned how many people find my YouTube channel by typing in stuff like hentai and anime fuck. Those are actually popular search terms for my channel, and I'm just like, why?
What do you mean, Tori? Why?
How?
I know you put that in the in the tags for every single thing you do.
I probably should.
Yeah, I just looked at it. Code Realize has 3 times more downloads than Steins Gate, which is number 2. It's like that's actually baffling to me. Can Code Realize? So guys, if you want the big downloads, Code Realize.
Sorry, it's not retro.
Oh well, you just remember this 10 years from now when it is. Like finally.
Finally, we can do Code Realize. Do you think people still care?
Yeah. I don't think they ever cared. But apparently,
I mean, it could be one of those shows that people just hated so much that when they saw it, they were like, "Oh, I need to hear what they have to say on this one."
Oh man, there you go. Yeah. Well, I guess thanks for having me on, guys. It was a lot of fun. I guess I'll see you in 2.5 years when Angel Beats becomes retro.
Well, hopefully we can get you on sooner next time.
Yeah, and I guess we'll try to accidentally avoid the dead children thing, right?
Well,
yes,
accidentally. Sure, yeah.
Well, this was purely not a purposeful move. So, or maybe we'll actually just lean into it and say like, I don't know, like Higurashi or something like that.
Trust me, we're not doing this on purpose. No,
not at all anymore.
Happy accident.
All right,
it's the dead baby guy.
Redley Retrocast. We'll see you next time.